We all know their voices, but what about the men behind the microphones on the world's toughest golf tours? The European Tour is the globe's most diverse golf circuit, stretching all the way from Ireland to Dubai, Shanghai to New Zealand. Making the trip along with a selection of the world's best golfers, a number of European Tour broadcasters, such as Donnelly.
What am I involved in? About 18-20 events on the European Tour, which, as you know, at this time of year is wonderful because we don't go anywhere near Europe where it's cold and wet and dark. We come to wonderful places out in Asia where the sun shines. So a lot on the European Tour. BBC Scotland, I do soccer for them and a little bit of rugby and a little bit of snooker, a little bit of curling. Basically, I'm a decathlete. I'm not very good at any one thing, but I cover a bunch of different things.
And while the work of the broadcast may seem calm and relaxed, preparation plays a large part in the finished product.
It's everything. I firmly believe that. I mean, I think the trick is to do the preparation and make it look almost as if you haven't. It's supposed to look very kind of casual and off the cuff. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years, apart from sit down, do the homework, read up on your subject, is talk to people. Talk to the competitors if you get a chance. Talk to coaches. Talk to people who are in and around the sport. And golf's wonderful because the guys generally are pretty approachable. We tend to share flights with them, so you meet them in airports, you maybe meet them at breakfast in the hotel when they're relaxed, and you can say, what do you think of that 14th, or how's the missus, or what's happening in the other, and you pick up little snippets. I don't mean confidences that you would break, none of us would do that, and it's amazing the little things you can pick up that you can use. So yeah, like all the great broadcasters that I know you and I both admire, the Bill McLarens and the people, and Peter Alice's and people like that, it's all about knowing the sport and doing your homework.
And experience is paramount when dealing with some of the tour's more lively characters.
You know that if Colin Montgomery or Darren Clark or anyone walks off the 18th, I mean, just double bogeyed and turned a 68 into a 70, that's not the time to stick a microphone up his nose. And most of the lads appreciate that, and they'll give them 10-15 minutes to cool down and then speak to them. So I think that, again, all comes from building some sort of rapport with them, some sort of relationship of trust, where they know that you're not going to ask an inappropriate question or approach them at an inappropriate time. And that really only comes with experience.
Golf has gone through one of its most fascinating periods in the last decade, which has made for some special memories for Dougie.
Tiger winning for the first time at the Masters in '97, and the realisation that, yes, this was the start of something that could be very, very special. And of course, 10 years on, we know how special it's been. And I've been lucky enough to commentate on 2 British gold medals in Olympics, one summer and one winter. And there's apparently not many commentators because Britain don't win many Winter Olympic medals. And I did the curling in Salt Lake City. So these are little things you put in your CV and you think, how lucky was I to be there and to see that. But I suppose, having built it all up, above them all, and my dream had always been to, oh, someone's just sold out on the 18th. My dream was always to interview the Scot who had just won the Open. And I thought for years it would be Sam Torrance, then I thought it would be Monty. And in 1999 it was Paul Lawrie, who I'd known since his first days on tour. So I remember interviewing him in the gathering gloom on the 18th at Carnoustie that night. And I'm sure I was more emotional than he was because he's a laid-back Aberdonian. And I was thinking, Paul, you've won the Open, you've got the claret jug. And he went, yeah, it's been good. And there's tears in my eyes. I'm so excited about it. So the Scot who won the Open, that's as good as it gets.
So having met many of the world's best players, is there a common winning trait or personal characteristic?
I think there is, and I think it's almost a self-obsession. I think to the point of it being almost a fault in their character, that everything, and they'll admit it, that other things, family and everything else, takes second place to being as good as they can be. And I think the really great ones have always been just a little bit obsessive about what they do. And maybe that's what it takes to be up there. I think that does run through whatever the sport. The really, really great ones have dedicated everything in their life to being that good.
And as far as the direction of the game over the next decade, well, it may be a destination and not an individual that is the next big thing in the growth of the game of golf.
I think the Middle East is a growing area. I think there's a lot of money there, and the money determines everything, doesn't it? Here in Asia is becoming a very serious tour, again, because there's a lot of investment by major companies. I think we're getting closer to a world tour. I think the Americans are suffering a little bit because, other than Tiger and Phil Mickelson, are there any Americans that would really add to the Hong Kong Open? And I'm not being unkind here, but are there any really big marquee names in the way that a Fred Couples was or a Davis Love was? I'm not sure that there is, but I think just because of the ease of travel now and the international nature of a lot of the sponsors, I think we're getting very close to a world tour. And you find that with the top players, don't you? That they all play pretty much the same schedule now.